Good morning, dear people. Mystic Lotus and Dragonflies welcomes you to Season 2 of the awesome Love and Health Telesummit. My name is Neelu, and I am your host throughout the season. It is my absolute joy and pride to be speaking to our amazing lineup of healers, doctors, and coaches who have brought shifts, changes, and transformations in the lives of those they have worked with. This includes physical diseases like diabetes and cancer, emotional dysfunction, and cognitive disorders. Before Birender Ahluwalia comes on with the magic formula for relationship, please say hello to our COO and digital head and tech expert, Amrish Dudani. I know Amrish is managing everybody getting connected. So Amrish, a big hello to you from all of us.
Thank you, Neelu. A quick hi. Hi, everyone.
Hi, and welcome in, and thank you for everything that you're doing right now, Amrish. Dear people, please also say hello to our CEO and marketing head, Nidhu Satish Kapoor. Hi, Nidhu.
Hi, Neelu. Hi, Amrish. Hi, Birender.
Hello, hello.
Thank you. Thank you, Neelu, for giving me these few seconds, and thank you to Birender. Morning, everybody. Yellows to Mumbai, Hyderabad, Kolkata, Bangalore, Pune, California, Australia, London. It is just so awesome to have you all here from across India and from all over the world. You know, when we heal our families, we heal our societies, we heal our buildings, we heal our community, we heal our cities. So thank you so much for signing up. Thank you for being here. The future of all healing lies in the power of group work. Together, we can be there for each other. Together, we can make miracles happen. Together, we can achieve the impossible. Let there be no doubt in your mind that what is beginning today that you are a part of will be life-changing. Please have a sip of water, everybody. Please join me in holding our hands in prayer pose, Anjali Mudra. Let's bow our head. A deep breath in. On the exhale, I want you to chant the switch words together as many times as possible. Ready? Hands in prayer pose. Please bow your head. Deep breath in. And on the exhale, together, 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 together. Please take another minute to get comfortable. Relax as I hand the stage back to Neelu and to Birender.
Thank you so much for that, Nidhu. Very grounding. Thank you. Needed that. And before we go on, a quick update for everybody on the group, on the call and on the WhatsApp group. If you have any questions or queries during the call regarding the conversation, please feel free to write it in the group itself. It will be responded to even if it is after the call is over. Thank you for that. And also, any messages regarding your connection, please personally message Amrish. Do not put it on the group during the call. Thank you for listening to that. And now, with absolute happiness and joy and pleasure and laughter, bringing on the man behind the science of it all, the man who's been married 22 years and therefore is definitely qualified to tell us about the magic formula for relationships. Birender, welcome in.
Thank you, Neelu. Thank you very much. I'm delighted to be here. I think it's a great day in Mumbai. I'm sure it's a great day everywhere else. It's a wonderful period between winter and spring, right?
Yes, fabulous weather. And I have to tell everybody, Birender has been traveling all over, just in fact landed late last night at 2 o'clock and is right here, bright and ready for the call. Thank you so much, Birender. And diving straight in, Birender, what is it about this Telesummit that excited you? We have you on all our Telesummit. You're a staple with us now. But what is it about this Telesummit that made you want to come on?
Yeah. Before I do that, I want to just warn everybody that usually Neelu exaggerates so much about me and the pictures that she puts up, etc. And when she was introducing me and when you saw my profile, etc., I'm sure this is what came to your mind, right? About this person who's quite sober and etc., and that's my picture that she always puts up, right? But if you actually put a video camera in my head, okay, and if this video camera was allowed to capture all the images and capture what I'm feeling, this is exactly the image that will pop up. Okay, so I just want to manage expectations there about who I am. Okay, so in case you're thinking it's a suited guy who's talking to you, don't be mistaken. Okay, okay. And what delighted me about this is that when I first heard about, first of all, it's a combination that I heard about, which is health and not people, but more important than that, it was when people talk about relationships and love, okay, and when they try and put an image of this person, okay, this is, for most women, this is the man that they start chasing, right, in the man of the dreams, okay? You agree with that, Neelu? You see that person now?
Yes, I agree with that.
Yeah. And so that is one aspect, because we paint these images of love and our loved one and the Prince Charming, etc., etc.
Right.
So that was from the part of love, Okay. And okay. Yes, and because we're all chasing the George Clooney's and the beautiful men and women in our lives, okay? Right. And eventually you land up with people like me, right? But what excited me most is the combination of love and health, because most people don't make that correlation that it's very intrinsically linked. And Harvard and Robert Waldinger is the fourth director of a study. Harvard does a very interesting study. It's called the Harvard Study of Adult Development. And the study has been going on for 75 years. What they did is 75 years back, they chose 724 people. And they've tracked these people, men actually, adult, young men they tracked for 75 years to find out, basically they wanted to answer the question that what keeps us healthy and happy in old age. And they wanted to find out that if you are 20 and 30 and 50, what should you be investing your time and energy? Because, when you ask most people what you want and what will make you happy, people say, 80% of the time people say it's money, 50% of the time they say it's fame, recognition from society, recognition of your peers. And what they did is they tracked 724 men and 2,000 of their children from two sections. So one is Harvard students themselves, and then they chose the poorest families in Boston. And they interviewed them literally every year for 75 years. And they interviewed them, they taped them, they took medical records, they did medical blood tests, they did x-rays, and they found three clear findings that came out. Okay? And the main single clear message that came out was, when you want to be age 80 to be living a healthy, happy life, the only single clear message that came out was, good relationships keep us happier and healthier. Period. And I'm going to just write that down for everybody so that I put that up front there. Okay. And the reason for that, and they found three reasons for that, about how it actually manifests in real life. Okay. And the first thing that they found is that social connections matter, and that loneliness kills. And to a romantic partner, to community, they are happier, they're physically healthier, they live longer. On the other hand, what they found is that people who are lonely, their experience is toxic for them. Their health declines earlier in midlife, their brain functioning declines earlier, and they live shorter lives. And now you know, living in urban areas, about how loneliness is increasing, right? That's the first one, that social connections matter. And I'm going to just copy paste that to you there. I'm just going to type that out very quickly so that if anybody is missing it can.
Right. While you're doing that, Birender, if I may quickly ask a question here.
Yes.
When you mentioned social connections matter, there's a difference here between being lonely and between solitude, right? Like, I'll just give a quick example. My husband and I are married now for 19 years, and we're very peacefully at a stage where having to go out and meet up and stuff doesn't really matter anymore. We're happy to just chill together at home, sometimes have friends over or go to a friend's place. Being out there in the public and therefore having that connection really isn't that important to us anymore. So does that mean we're going to grow up older, unhappy? And just asking in case.
Okay, so that was the first point, and I feel that gets me very neatly to my next point. Okay, so your question actually is the logical next question. And what they found in the study is, first, like I said, the social connections matter. But the second thing that they found is it is not the number of relationships that matter. And it is not whether you are in a committed relationship that matters. What matters is very simply that are you in a relationship with a person, regardless of the name that relationship has? Are you in a relationship where you can actually count on that person when things go wrong? Okay. So, like I said, it could be a romantic partner, it could be a friend, it could be a sibling, it could be a community, it could be a spiritual self. You could be lost in the service of God and you think God might help you. You may have a connection with God in a higher form, okay, or it could be just higher power. So long as you have a connection, a genuine connection where you can count on each other. Okay. Okay, so it's not the number of relationships or whether you're in a committed relationship. In fact, sometimes what they found is that in high conflict marriages, in marriages which are without affection, they have a worse impact than even divorce. Okay? And what they wanted to see was that, when they were looking at people who were 80, they wanted to look back when they were 50. What could predict that at age 50 that you would grow up to be a happy octogenarian? Okay, octogenarians are those who live for 80. What they found is it was not your cholesterol levels at age 50, or it was not your money, it was not your fame. It was how satisfied you were in your relationship at age 50 predicted how healthy you will be at age 80. Because what they found is that good relationships buffer us from the pains of getting old. What they found is that people who were happy at age 80, even when they were suffering from intense physical pain, the positive emotional experience because of the relationship reduced the impact of the pain for them. And on the other hand, and they reported that even when they were facing very high physical pain, their mood remained the same. They did not get upset or depressed or angry about the pain. On the other hand, what they found is that in unhappy relationships, the physical pain was amplified by the emotional pain. So the second part, I just want to write that down very quickly for the group, okay, so that we don't miss it out.
So the physical pain was amplified by their emotional pain. So this
That's right.
is quite literally a very aha moment for me, for sure. I know for possibly everybody else also. And you just said that good relationships protect not only, they protect us physically and emotionally. So then, therefore, Birender, if this is a known fact, everybody knows it, why is it that our relationships are the last things that most of us happen to work on?
Okay. The harsh truth behind that is that we want a quick fix. Okay?
Right.
And unfortunately, relationships are messy. is hard work, and not only hard work, it's boring. Okay?
Yeah.
And you have to keep doing the same thing again and again and again. Every day, every hour, you have to keep doing it. It's not microwavable food, and you can't outsource it. It's not like you can go to Zomato and they'll send you materials and that, fantastic, you have a relationship. You have to buy the raw materials, you have to cut it, you have to cook it, you have to serve it, you have to clean the kitchen. Sometimes the food will burn, sometimes you'll throw the food out, sometimes you'll be insulted for the food. Exactly that way relationships work. Okay? It's because it's hard work. Right? And in fact, that's why I wanted to get onto the audience who's online about what attracted each one of you, more than 50 people across many countries in the world, you to the summit. In the sense, what do you wish to gain out of this summit? Maybe because the title was Love and Health, so maybe you're in a relationship and you want it to grow. Maybe you're feeling stuck and you want to way out. Maybe you've been searching for the one love, but you find it and it doesn't last. Maybe you want to find a romantic partner, or maybe something else. And it's important for the audience if I can get an answer, because not only for me, but for speakers to follow, if the participants have a clear objective about why they're here on the summit, they might derive more content and value for themselves. Okay? So I'll just give everybody half a minute to 1 minute to just give us quick responses about what they wish to get here on the summit.
That's fantastic, Birender, and thank you for asking that and laying groundwork for the following calls as well. Thank you so much, people. Go ahead, write it in onto the group that you're in.
So Pooja is saying something interesting. What if the person continue to irritate you, to insult you, to hurt you when you're giving 100% and still feel blamed? Okay, that's a good, you might be able to derive some of those in at least today's call and perhaps calls to come.
Okay, but, just a quick question, Birender. There is no right or wrong answer here, right? No one's
Yes, absolutely. It's your answer.
Yes, no one's being judged. This is a safe place. It's okay for you to say exactly what you have in mind. So please, just go ahead.
Praveen has an interesting point. How come we see widows living longer lives than a widow? I have no idea, Praveen. But
women living longer than the men after that is interesting. Maybe we could look into some kind of research on that later.
Okay. Somebody says because they find love and health positive. Yeah, I think it will give you more reasons to find them more positive. Amita says attract love and a romantic partner. Malini wants to find out why she's stuck. Fantastic. We'll get happy environment at home for kids to grow and healthy. Want to give people back around me. Fantastic. I think that's great. You have to learn how to enhance an already good relationship. Hey, that's lovely. That's fantastic, Lavani. What's your name, Love and Light? You might want to change your name temporarily, at least for this call, so that we know what's your real name. Or we'll keep calling you Love and Light.
And she would love to be called that. And she actually is Love and Light. That is, I think, Andhra.
Fantastic.
Okay. So
attractive, positive. Yeah, great. Okay. So we're getting quite a few feedback. And if you can keep telling us, and we'll keep how to increase self-love, then fantastic. Yeah, that's fantastic. Okay. I'm not asking the feeling, the pictures. We're going to cover that today, Pooja. Just give me another few seconds. Some interesting ones coming.
Yes.
Yeah. In a very strong relationship with no future with the person looking for a way out, or maybe not. I love the word maybe not. How to stay in it more happily without stress and expectations. You pretty much answered the question, right, Kushbu? But yeah, we will get a lot for that for today. We will cover many aspects of those, hopefully. And it's 34 years, Rahat. Fantastic. Two grandkids also. My husband looks at one thing not done, my thing. So how? Yeah, Rahat. We'll go find some of the things there. Social life and feel lonely inside. I feel guilty too, yeah. Nurture myself first in relationship to that. Yeah. Self-love and protecting the same. We're getting some great feedback here. More clarity on how to have a happy relationship after. That team says, put in mind and work on retain joy in all our relationships. Yeah. Okay. Let the feedback keep coming, and I just want to give one more point and a pointer here. For today's call, at least, what we will do is, usually when I do my call and even when I read books, sometimes what happens to me is when I'm reading a book and I find a few interesting points, I start thinking, hey, this person in my life, he should be reading this book. Or I wish this person in my life, who's my boss or my subordinate, who's not doing these things, if he reads this book, he fit from it tremendously. It's always a tendency that I have. And I read this fantastic book called by Birender Ahluwalia, and he's written a book called How to Have a Beautiful Mind. In his first page, he says something very interesting. He says, when you read this book, you will have an urge and a tendency to go and buy 3 copies of the books and give it to 3 people who you feel should have a beautiful mind. He says, even though, and then he says, resist that temptation. I don't want you to buy my book and give it out. Even though it will increase my sale, this book is for you and not for others. It's about how you should have a beautiful mind. And that really changed my perspective, because you're an author who's saying, don't buy my books and gift it. And it's going to be similar in this call today, because when we present the science and we present a few of the exercises today, your mind might wander off to say, hey, this person, I wish he was listening to this call. I wish I was. So I would urge you to bring yourself back momentarily into the call and first analyze about how this can be applicable to you. Once it's applicable to you, then you will be able to, and others will automatically see it. Okay? So, Neeru, to answer the question that you had, yes, we seek a quick fix. And if you see from the responses that we are getting from the audience here, okay, Sonal, the book was How to Have a Beautiful Mind, Birender Ahluwalia. Okay, and I'll go distracted there. Okay, and if you see the issues and the questions that are coming, some are quite complex in their own simplicity. Right? They seem very simple one-line answers, but they're quite complex. Okay, and many times it happens because the amount of expectations that we've put on love and relationships has been built by the expectations that have come across from movies and novels, etc., etc. So I blame movies down square, the romantic movies. And by the way, it's not only movies, and don't even go down the gender route, right? You say that men are like this and women are like that. Okay, but I solely blame the movies for creating this very high expectation and very unreal expectations from love.
Yes, but wouldn't that also, correct, I absolutely agree with you, because it then becomes just about that one day, but what about the rest of the days after that? Why is it that we come into this position where we're wishing somebody else, I wish somebody else was listening to this call. As you said, you blame the movies. But here's the thing. It's just that one day. What about after?
Yeah, and that's an entire fairy tale phrase, right, that we've heard, which is happily ever after. That the Prince Charming found his princess and they got married and they lived happily ever after. In all the romantic movies, the hero is chasing the heroine, and the parents are objecting. Finally, they overcome the parents, they convince the parents, and they live happily ever after. It's all the stories that we read when we were young, right? And then, unfortunately, what happens is that we think the climax is exactly that, okay? The day of our wedding. And I want to turn to the audience and ask them this question again, okay? Many of us might be working, right? How many people are working here?
Yes.
Now, supposing you had a dream company you wanted to work for, or a dream job, or a dream role, or something, right? You wanted to become an artist, and etc., etc. Now, let's say you went to university, you started studying, okay? You studied hard, then you went to an MBA school or whatever, got your master's degree, And then you applied for the interview, you worked hard for the interview, got the job, and on the first day of the job, you landed up. Okay? What did you do then? Most of us, what we would have done is we would have worked harder and harder and harder on our jobs. Okay? Because knowing we knew that the day we got the job was the start of the climb. Then what happens for us, okay, if you move the same analogy from work, marriages and romantic relationships, think about if you are married, think about the run-up to your wedding. Okay? In the run-up to your wedding, you planned every single detail, the wedding invitation, the venue, the guest list, the clothes, your trousseau, mehndi, haldi, sangeet, shadi reception, the flowers, the jewelry, decoration, honeymoon, return gifts, destination weddings, etc., etc. You sought a lot of help, and then you got married. Okay? And then the amount of effort you put in to make the wedding a beautiful wedding, okay, suddenly, after that, the effort and the investment you're making, you tend to drop. Okay? Because nobody prepares us that the day of your wedding and your marriage, or the day you get into a romantic relationship, the effort doubles and triples and nearly goes 5 times what you had before that D-Day. And of course, then, when you have Facebook, when all these newly wedded couples and, old married couples, they're putting brilliant pictures of their honeymoon, 1 month anniversary, 3 months, 1 year, every newly person is gushing about the husband is gushing about the wives, they're having such beautiful lives. Even like they say in Facebook, everybody has a perfect marriage, they have caring husbands and wives, they have parties, they go on brilliant holidays, their kids are the most cooperative and well-behaved and sorted types. Okay, and their in-laws are absolute angels. Okay, and they have, and everybody in their lives seem to be an epitome of consideration, right? Okay. And when you look at my own life in social media, outside social media, okay, I think I have a miserable life because I have none of these that all my friends have.
Right.
Okay, so not only movies, now social media amplifies that expectations. Okay? Because somebody forgot to tell us, mate, my friend, after the shadi, you are supposed to be working harder on your relationships. Okay? Right. So that really is that crux of, that our investment pre-marriage or on the post-relationships is far higher than the investment that we put into our relationship post-wedding. Okay? Because let's face it, it's 1 year after the wedding and then it's 50 years post the wedding.
Right.
Okay?
Absolutely.
Okay? Yeah. But that's the effort that's required if you require a flourishing marriage.
Yeah. So that's one very crucial point. Nobody's told you, nobody's prepared you for the fact that it's after that day that it all actually begins. So we do all this planning beforehand, but we do no planning for the later. So basically, what you're also saying, Virender, is that movies and social media and novels, they've propagated these myths and set these incorrect expectations, both in terms of the amount of effort you put in and the output that you get. So it's basically messing up on having a satisfying relationship, right?
That's right. Okay, it's not, and it's not only the effort that you're putting in, okay, it's also, how do I say this? So, okay, before that, it's the effort, but it's the direction of that effort which matters. You get what I'm saying? Okay, so once
you could just explain that. What exactly would you be meaning by the direction of the love? Is there a certain path it's supposed, because there is no set path, right?
Yeah. Okay. So before I get to that path, okay, I want to just very quickly cover that when we go into, because some of the questions that came out was very interesting. Somebody said, as a chronically single person, I've often advised, often unsolicited, that chase self-love and love will find me. So the question is, don't partner people need self-love too? Why should it be a condition instead? Some people just find love with a snap of fingers. Okay, that's fantastic, and that's some of the myths that really come about when, I think there's a fantastic point that you made that some people just find love with the snap of a finger. Okay, I keep thinking, find the answer. And I'm going to answer this question in a slightly different way for you, Neelu. So you see, these are, when you say some people find love at a snap of a finger, and these are the few myths. The myths are that, love is blind, and that but love is not blind. A love for a person seeks you out with great precision. It may take different forms, okay? But at the first step, you have to open yourself up to love. Okay? And then the second myth that we find, and somebody has earlier said this in the question, is what if my partner focuses only on my 99 on my one defect and not the 99 things that I did right? Okay? And the question there is, what we say is sometimes in love, I shouldn't need to say these things to you. Okay? They say love means not having to say anything and you should know it. And that's nonsense, because if somebody is irritating you for something, or somebody is focusing unnecessarily on something small, you have to be able to say it. Okay? So love means having to say pretty much everything. And the third myth that we have about this is that love is unconditional. Okay? And that is, again, one of the worst myths, because love is completely conditional, Neil. Okay? It is conditional on your actions, on your efforts, and it plays within the boundaries that you lay down for the love of the person. Okay? And the fourth myth is that love should be eternal and everlasting. That once I have declared for my love for this person, it should remain at least there, if not grow on its own. Okay? On the contrary, love is very demanding. Okay? It exists, and not only is very demanding, it exists only in micro moments of connection. It's not an everlasting condition. And those micro moments of conditions come, and this is the part that we're talking about. Micro moments of the connection comes when you create it. Okay? And the fifth myth is that, in love, you can be yourself. And which is pretty much the worst thing that you could do, because if I look at myself, I have a whole lot of idiosyncrasies and eccentricities that I have. And imagine if I start unburdening all of my idiosyncrasies on my partner. Okay? Forget 22 years, she would have left me in 22 months, right? Okay. Because I have so much craziness. Okay? And I have to constantly make those adjustments in my life, okay, to kind of fit around her life, and she has to do that similarly to mine. Okay? And the sixth myth that drives me completely nuts is that love is an undying passion, when you have people that say, okay, I want to be in this love which is undying, passionate love for the rest of my life. Okay? Which is absolutely a difficult thing to have.
Wait, hang on. Sorry. So I'm so sorry. I have to interrupt here and ask you, are you saying that myth that love is about undying passion, are you saying that you should not have, there shouldn't be passion consistently in a relationship? Doesn't everybody want the thrill of it all?
Yeah, and so what happens is, and again, let me go back to movies, and I have two of my favorite movies here. Okay? Yes. So one movie was, and I'm sure many of you have heard of this movie called As Good as Dead. Jack Nicholson, and Jack Nicholson, when he's quoting Helen Hunt, he goes into this full monologue, and then finally he makes the climactic statement where he says, "You make me want to be a better man."
Yes.
Okay. So that is one statement of love, let's say. Okay. And then the other statement of love is, when Tom Cruise with Dennis Zellweger in Jerry Maguire. Okay. He goes into this complete monologue about how important she is. Okay. And he completes his statement by telling her, "Dorothy, you complete me."
Right.
Okay. And this is what we have as the image of love, right? That the other person should complete me.
Right.
Okay. Or the other person should make me want to be a better man. So you see, this is actually, and I'm going to paste this in the group, okay, so that, one second, let me just write this down very quickly. Okay, so that you have both of these in front of you.
not to take away from the fact that I actually adore Tom Cruise. I think this is my first childhood superstar crush. But
Top Gun, right?
yeah, Top Gun, yes, on the Harley Davidson. But between these two lines, Birender, if you ask me, I actually prefer Jack Nicholson and As Good as It Gets, because he's messed up in that movie. He's so warped in the head, and for him to say that he wants to be better for some, I think it just completely blew me off my feet. I definitely do. If you're talking about romantic movies, that is the one that I would have preference on, and that's
yeah. Yeah. Let's actually, it's interesting you say that. Let's ask this question to the audience. If you were relating your partner to you, okay, if your partner was relating to you, okay, who would you resemble, or who would your partner resemble? Would you resemble Jack Nicholson, or would you resemble Tom Cruise, or would your partner resemble Jack Nicholson, or would your partner resemble Tom Cruise, where he says, "You complete me"? Let's just hear it, from the audience, so that what do they think it is?
For me, it's Jack Nicholson for sure.
Yeah.
And
So let's hear it.
I know it's both ways. So
yeah. Amrish, I think Amita is asking for help to connect. Let's hear from people. Are you the Jack Nicholson type? Are you the Tom Cruise types? Is your partner Jack Nicholson types? Is your partner Tom Cruise types?
While people are writing that in, because there's this question that you've asked. I've given you mine, Jack Nicholson. Is it a reason you're asking? Is there a reason for this?
Yes, and I'm just going to wait for another 10,
Right.
15 seconds
Okay.
till I get some more answers. So there is Jack and there is Jerry, which is coming.
Yeah.
Okay. My husband is Jack Nicholson, Sonal says Jack definitely. Some saying Jerry. Praveen says Jerry. Or people saying Jack.
And while people are typing in, not to take away from this call, but
Yeah.
people, please do not post messages about disconnection in the WhatsApp group. PM Amrish separately, please. Sorry about that, Birender. Back to you.
Yes. Okay. So the question that you were asking is why I'm asking this question. And there's another scientist by the name Robert Valorant. Okay. He studies passion. He studies passion at work, and he studies passion in romantic relationships. And
Okay.
And he's actually developed a romantic passion scale. We won't cover the full scale here. I'm going to paste the scale in the group. Okay. I'm not going to cover it here. Because of more of time, and I want to make sure we end on time. Okay. But what I will do is I will paste the scale here. Okay. Let me just find a little typo in my scale. Okay. So that's the scale going up there. That's the scale going up on there. Okay. It's getting uploaded. Can you see it, Neelu?
Yes.
Have you come through?
Yes, on both the groups. And do you want people to be filling this up right now, or will we?
Not right now.
After the call.
So what we can do is, at your leisure after the call, if you could just take a pen and paper down and write your scores there. Okay. And when you rate it, sorry, just give me a minute.
Yes.
Okay. And when you rate it, you have to give yourself a rating on a scale of 1 to 7. Okay. 7 is where 1 to 7. When 7 is where you strongly agree. Okay. And 1 is strongly disagree.
Okay, so 3.5 is your average.
That's
like is your neither here nor there.
Yes, that's right.
Okay. Right. Strongly agree.
Okay.
Strongly disagree.
Pooja says she is Jerry Maguire and her husband is Jack Nicholson. Okay. So 7 I strongly agree. So you can give it on a scale of 1 to 7. Okay. And you'll find what I have put there. Okay. Is actually I shouldn't have put it there, but never mind. Okay. Now to calculate HP, so there are 3 kinds of passion. Okay. HP, OP, and GP, and I'll cover that now. Okay. HP is what's called harmonious passion. And I'll explain in a bit what is harmonious passion. OP is passive passion and GP is general passion.
Okay.
Let me explain what is harmonious passion. Okay? So, have you met people in your life, when they are single, they will always be in touch with you, they will go out for coffees, etc., etc. But the moment they get into a relationship, they completely cut off from you.
Right.
Right. Okay? And suddenly this person has gone off the radar because this person has got so involved in his or her romantic relationship that they don't have time for anything else.
Right.
Okay? And to the extent you always know that when they are getting back in touch with you, okay, there obviously is trouble in paradise. Or they've broken, or he or she's broken up, and then she's trying to rekindle the relationships. Okay? You have those kind of people, right?
Right.
And while you might think it's natural to be swept away, okay, it's rather unhealthy because according to Robert Vallerand's theory, those who have an harmonious passion engage in their work and relationships because it brings them intrinsic joy. Okay? And they have a sense of control of the relationships. Basically, the relationship is in harmony with all other activities and domains of their life. It's not that that relationship has become a large focus of their life. Okay? So they engage in that activity or the relationship. At the same time, they know when to disengage. Okay? Because sometimes you need to disengage from your relationship. Otherwise, it keeps putting unnecessarily strain on that relationship. Okay? What Robert Vallerand finds is that if you engage, so that's harmonious relationships.
Right.
Okay? Obsessive relationships is something different. It is when you perceive that that work or that relationship represents a passion for you and you work it and you value it very highly to the extent that everything else doesn't seem to matter. Okay?
Right.
And a major difference between harmonious passion and obsessive passion is that you have an uncontrollable urge to engage in the relationship. Okay? So, for example, if you are a workaholic, you will not be able to control yourself but to go to work and keep checking your emails. Okay? If you're obsessive about gym, you will be going to the gym 4 hours a day and you will feel bad on the day you don't go to the gym. Okay? You'll get the so-called withdrawal symptoms. What that is an indicator of is that you have an obsessive, passionate relationship with this activity or this relationship. Okay? So and why is it important? Is because because both these outcomes have very different physical outcome and mental outcome. Harmonious passion is associated with higher levels of physical health, psychological well-being, self-reported self-esteem, positive emotions, creativity, concentration, flow, work satisfaction, and higher congruence with the life domains of with the domains of life in your life. Okay? Where engaging with one part of your life, of your relationships, actually have a positive impact on other impacts. Okay? In contrast, those with obsessive passion, they display higher level of negative emotions over time, and they display more maladaptive behaviors. Okay, they report even higher levels of negative emotions while you're engaging with the activity. So, if you're obsessive about the gym, and if you are every day you will go and lift 200 kilos, and today you could lift only 100, you will feel bad about yourself. Why is it that I could do only 100 kilos and I could not lift 200? Okay. Okay. And you would then also persist in taking more risky actions. Okay. Just like, for example, gambling. Okay. And the reason this happens is that either the work or the relationship becomes a large part of their self-concept. Okay. So this person becomes an identity. And therefore, this is called codependence. Obsessive passion is about codependence. Harmonious passion is about interdependence. Interdependence is you bring A to the table, I bring B, and when you merge both of these, it becomes even A plus B becomes stronger than the sum of its parts. Right? So that's the part of it. Okay? Therefore, and just to finish off on the obsessive passion, it suggests that it does not come from a place of joy, but it comes from a unstable ego. Okay? So therefore, once going back to the movie phrase, if you're more of the Jerry Maguire types, okay, that's obsessive passion. And if you're more of the Jack Nicholson types, it's more of the harmonious passion. Because what Jack Nicholson is seeking from the other person is to say, with you present in my life, I wish to take actions which will want me to become a better man. Whereas you complete me means without you I'm incomplete. So if you go away, I will be left without my identity.
I never thought of that way at all, ever.
That's right. Okay. And so after the call, once you do your scales, okay, on a scale of, I will then help you analyze your scores, okay, about your obsessive passion and your harmonious passion. I think for interest of time, we won't cover general passion, but it's not as important as harmonious passion and obsessive passion.
You could, of course, bring it up after, on the group as and how your conversation flows, Birender.
Absolutely.
Over there. Okay.
Absolutely.
So, in that case, Birender, to come back here, basically what we've understood so far is that there is no happily ever after in a relationship, is it?
Yes, there is no happily ever after. The work starts then.
The work.
Yes.
It's not that there is no happiness, but that's not what we're trying to say, right? That happiness and that love requires constant work. That's why there's no happily ever after. It only exists in movies, correct?
That's right. Okay. So whether it is the small things that you do on every single day, every single hour, every single minute is what builds the relationship.
Okay. Now,
and that needs effort.
Right. Absolutely. You're putting in all this effort. But then, if we are putting in all this effort, why then, Birender, do people who are in love or any kind of relationship, why do we end up hurting the ones that we love or getting hurt by the ones we love?
And the reason is very simple actually for that, because what happens is that in a romantic or a marital relationship, stakes are the highest.
Right.
Now, for example, if you take your best friends, they don't live with you. So they may not give you the most negative feedback. Okay? Because they'll meet you they may have concern for you, they'll meet you for a coffee and then they'll meet you next month, a month later. Okay? Whereas a partner needs to give you feedback constantly because you're living with each other 24 hours a day. Even if you go away to office, there is still that physical connection that you have at home, right?
Right.
Okay? So therefore, all these small things, so if your friend has an annoying habit, okay, let's say your friend talks very loudly, okay? If you're meeting the person for half an hour, you will tolerate it. Okay? But if your romantic partner talks very loudly and continues to talk loudly at home, at some point of time you will say, why are you talking so loudly? Okay? So that negative feedback has to be given because you're living with that person, right? And when you give the negative feedback, because investments are being made, that's when conflicts start to rise. Okay? Because negative feedback is now coming. Whereas the best of friends will not give you as much negative feedback about you.
So basically, do I understand correctly? Two things that I want to ask you here. That A, is hurt and love therefore, completely or inexplicably linked? And if so, how do we protect ourselves from the hurt, both that we might cause or our partner might cause us?
Yeah. So Fred Bluskin, he is a professor in Stanford University. He runs something called the Forgiveness Project. He says something very interesting. He says, people we love will cause us pain. Because when we are in love, it's the time we open ourselves up to vulnerability. And the reason he says that is because the conflicts could arise in a number of ways. Okay, you could be accused of doing something wrong or not doing something. You might get upset because your partner may not participate in events. Maybe you might be upset about time not being spent. Okay, and therefore how you present yourself in conflict, okay, matters. And to answer the second part of your question, how do you protect yourself from the hurt? Supposing it's like when you have a cold, okay, you go to the doctor and the doctor gives you a pill, like I have a cold today. He gave me 2 pills and I start popping them. Okay, and the cold will go away. But if I want to make sure I don't get a cold in the longer run, I would need to take on much more healthier lifestyles, right? I would need to do exercise more, change my diet, etc.
With your immunity.
So similarly, so that I am now increasing my physical immunity system. Similarly, to protect yourself from this hurt, and this is where the magic formula comes in, okay, you need to improve your psychological immunity systems. Okay? And this is where John Gottman recommends this magic formula. Okay? Now imagine, and for everybody in the audience, imagine if our relationship was a bank account. Okay?
Okay.
Now, okay, and let's say it's a zero balance bank account. In your zero balance bank account, if you were to put 1,000 or let's say 100 rupees in your bank account, okay?
Right.
Your bank manager say, okay, you put 100 rupees, you are now allowed to, theoretically at least, withdraw 100 rupees at any point of time. Okay? In fact, if you have a credit card, they will let you withdraw more than 100 rupees. And they charge you a little fee for it later on. Okay? So, if you look at a relationship as a bank account, okay, you make, and you use a metaphor of a bank account, in the relationship, you make positive deposits and you make negative withdrawals. Okay? When do you put deposits? Okay? You put deposits when you do positive things. Okay? When you show trust, when you perform acts of kindness, when you do the small things nicely, with love, you make those deposits. Okay? When conflict arises, okay, you make withdrawals. Okay? Okay, you got that?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Now, here is where the magic formula comes in. If you are making 100 rupees of withdrawal in a relationship account, how much do you think you need to be depositing if you wish to make a withdrawal of 100 rupees? How much? And I want to turn this question to the audience, okay? So for the audience, if you want to deposit 100 rupees in your bank account, how much?
Withdraw 100 rupees.
If you want to withdraw 100 rupees from your bank account, how much do you think you should have deposited in your bank account to be able to withdraw 100 rupees? You want to guess, anybody?
Keeping in mind that it's a zero account balance, you do not have to have a minimum
So
account balance.
So there is no minimum account required. You can withdraw as much as you put in.
Right.
Okay. Anybody wants to guess? So if you could.
I'll say 1,000.
Okay. 1,000 is one, so 1,000 for every 100 rupees, okay?
Someone's saying 10,000.
10,000, someone's saying 10,000.
No, it's actually one. No, it's not. Yeah, 10,000. Sorry.
10,000. Okay. Somebody is saying 10,000.
200. At least 100, basically.
Okay.
100.
So somebody saying,
This is what.
somebody saying 100, 200. Somebody saying 200, 200. Okay. Okay. Somebody is saying 1,000, 200. Yeah.
Right. So I know you're going to be explaining why you're asking us this also.
Yeah. Okay. So while we keep getting answers, now John Gottman is a relationship expert. Okay. When couples come to his laboratory, he can predict with 93% accuracy if this couple will remain married or get divorced. Okay?
Oh, wow.
And he has studied this, with 94% accuracy. In some conditions, he even predicts up to 96% accuracy. Okay? Now, what he's found is that there is a magic formula, and I want everybody to remember this magic formula for the rest of their lives. And the magic formula is 5:1. For every one with 5:1.
Okay.
For every one withdrawal, you have to make 5 rupees of deposits. And by the way, you cannot go to the bank here and say, I am putting all 5 rupees at once. You have to make 5 trips of 1 rupee each.
Right.
Okay? So it is not the intensity which matters, it is the frequency which matters. Okay? And I'm going to ask, especially the women on the group, a question.
Yes.
Supposing you had a choice, this is February, right?
Yes.
Okay, it's Valentine's month. Supposing you had a choice, okay, where your loved one would get you a surprise gift every Monday. Okay? Worth 500 rupees.
Okay.
Okay? A surprise gift every Monday, 500 rupees.
Okay.
Right? Versus a surprise gift at the end of the month of 2,000 rupees. Which one will you value more? Which relationship will you value more? A relationship where you get 4 positives, or a relationship of 500 rupees each, or a relationship of 1 where you get the same physical amount. Chances are you will, because you want to taste the novelty in 4 different times.
Yeah.
So it is the frequency which counts and not the intensity. So you cannot say, hey, wait a minute, I got you a nice Cartier watch, that covers me for a year.
And that is how we normally do end up saying stuff, no? That, okay, this is done, that was a gift. This is done, that was an anniversary gift.
Yeah, that's it. So it's not the intensity, it is not the worth, it is the frequency which matters.
And is there a range to this frequency, Birender? Like you just said 5:1 is the ideal ratio.
Yes.
Is there a range to it also?
Yes, there is a range, and it's a very interesting question because so what we found is 5:1 is for happy marriages. The most flourishing marriages have a ratio of 8:1.
Okay.
Okay? So for every 1,000 rupees, happy marriages have 8,000 rupees. Now, logically, you might think that, having a ratio of 9:1 is better than saying 8:1, and a ratio of 12:1 is better than 8:1. And it's not so, because what John Gottman found is that after 8:1, when couples had 9 and 10 and 11 and 12:1, it was usually a case where the couple were not talking about the conflict and the thorny issues. They were bottling those issues up. So therefore, there was so if you don't talk about negative topics, there won't be negativity. So simple. But we know when you paint those up, at some point of time, it's going to burst.
Right.
So you're better off resolving those negative issues on a day-to-day basis, rather than waiting for the one big conflagration and the atom bomb to burst.
Right.
So you're better off solving the negative problems immediately, resolving them, rather than, okay. So what he found is, after 8:1, you have to be a bit careful. Okay? I'm not saying 9:1 is bad or 12:1 is bad. If 15:1 is working for you, great. But if you have 15:1 and then you have a massive fight where you don't talk for days, then you know there is a problem.
Right.
Okay? So 5:1 is that magic formula.
Wonderful. And yes, and as you said, the range, it is okay for it to move up and down. It depends on what is working for you, but on the science of it, it is 5:1 or 8:1.
That's right.
Wonderful. And is there, before we actually would need to start winding up, before we do that, is there any way that we can build on positive interactions in relationships? Is there any way to increase those frequent trips to the bank?
Yeah. Actually, what we'll do is, I know we are tight on time. There are 3 big things that we can do. Okay? And I'll cover 2 of those. And after the call, I will keep sending more and more tips about what we can do. Okay? So on WhatsApp, so that we can keep discussing them. Okay? And the first of them is, and I'm going to cover this a bit more importantly, and it is the science of gratitude. Okay? So in relationships, a lot of people believe in gratitude and saying thank you, etc. Okay? So that is a very critical one, and I just want to cover that gratitude bit a bit more because, sorry, let me just, okay. What happens is in couples who demonstrate a higher sense of gratitude, okay, they have, so when we talk about gratitude, we always think of it as a mental feel-good thing. Okay? Whereas what we find is that gratitude now has physical impact on your body. Okay? So let me just explain what is gratitude first. Okay? Because I know we are tight on time, I'll take a couple of minutes here. So in couples where we show gratitude for each other, first, you're showing an affirmation of goodness, where one partner is doing something good for another. The second is you're recognizing that the source of this is outside us here. Okay? And gratitude requires to see how you have been supported and affirmed by other people. Okay? So that is one very big aspect of gratitude. And the reason I always talk about showing gratitude is because what we find, and it relates back to health, people who show more gratitude, they're 25% happier, they sleep half an hour more every evening, they exercise 33% more, they achieve a 10% reduction in systolic blood pressure, they reduce the dietary and fat intake by 20%, and people who have positive emotions like joy, love, gratitude live up to 7 years longer. Okay? Students who practice gratitude have a 1-point average difference. Okay? And so if you show gratitude in your relationships constantly, okay, that helps a lot in increasing the positive parts of the relationship. Okay? So that was one important one. But equally important one is to be physically present. Okay? Because what happens is once your partner comes home and once we come home to our partners, okay, we are always on the phone.
Right.
Okay? So,
right.
So it's what I call replacing screen time with space time. Okay? And not only physical, so keep your phone away, and then touch matters. Okay? When you're having a very big fight, try and touch your partner lovingly on his or her arm. Okay? You will find that has a calming presence. Okay? Talking to each other. And supposing, and now Valentine is coming on Tuesday, right? You could actually make this a monthly affair. Okay? Maybe couple gratitude, and you can talk about maybe 18 things about what you like about your partner. Okay? Sometimes making a list is different. Okay? But, and why I chose 18 is because usually most of us are awake for 18 hours.
Okay.
Okay? So think about 18 things about what you like for your partner. Okay? And send that 1 hour every hour, say, I like this about you, and send that for 18 hours, and just do this once a month. Okay? Obviously, don't do that every day because it'll get boring. Like those good morning WhatsApp messages that you get. Okay, when you stop reading them after some time.
Yes.
Okay? But just do this, you could do this once a month, just do it once a quarter. For example, what I do for my wife, okay, because I am a stay-at-home husband, I have kids, okay. I'm one big leave for my wife. Okay? So my wife, when she leaves, once a week, okay, and I don't know which day of the week, I slip in a little post-it note for her in a place where I know she will find it. So it will be below her iPad or it will be in her wallet or something where she had to open it. And I'll write something nice about what she did for me in the last 1 week there. Okay?
Wow.
So I do this on a weekly basis. Okay? And if I won for 2-3 weeks, I didn't send it. And she once gave me a call saying, the last 2-3 weeks, you've not sent it to me. Is there something wrong? What happened? Then, so it was genuine concern. Okay? But remember what I said, if people think love means you should not need to ask.
Right.
Okay? So if she was missing it, she came and asked for it. And then I said, okay, I have to put it, So then I got back into that habit. it's about being physically present. Okay. What I also do is, I send you a picture of these cards. I've got these cards called where I have printed "You Matter," okay, which I got actually from a colleague of mine in the US. And I use these "You Matter" cards across. If I meet clients who taught me something and I learned something from them, I give them a "You Matter" card and I send you a picture. And I carry a bunch of these. Sometimes I give it to the aerospace, sometimes I give it to the receptionist, or sometimes I give it to the porter. Okay. Sometimes I give it to cousins. Okay. To tell them that you matter. Okay? Because it's about creating these little micro moments of love. Yeah?
Wonderful.
I know we've completely overshot our time now.
Yes, we have, but I do know that you do have something that you want to close with, and this conversation is definitely continuing into the WhatsApp group, dear people. So there will be. Do not worry, you're not going to be missing out on anything. Before we close on the call for now, Birender, is there anything that you'd I know, as I said, I know you wanted to definitely finish with something.
Okay. So I think I just want to sum up that and the most important question you asked is that, this wisdom is as old as the hill, so why don't we do it? Okay? It is because it's hard work and it's messy. Okay? And it's about that formula of 5 to 1. And it is about 5 in frequency. So you cannot go and make the deposit upfront and keep withdrawing from it. Okay? So that's the most important part, which is, so the one single formula that I wanted to talk to you about, which is the magic formula, is 5 to 1. Okay? And I just want to ask you a meditation, or maybe we can do that later on.
For some reason, a couple of people are not being able to hear us, and since we're not getting, an energy level answer back on that, maybe we could do it on the group later.
A lot of people are saying they got disconnected, so I think you might
Yes.
have a chance.
So,
Restarted.
yes.
Okay, restarted.
Exactly. So that's exactly what I was referring to. Let's see how we could possibly do the meditation on the group. We will just take everybody through it. We're all there, and it could happen there as well. Later on WhatsApp, after the call's over.
Yeah, so I think you can do that. There is a recorded version of the meditation available. Okay? I can send that on the WhatsApp if you want, or I can do it myself.
Okay, no, you know what? Just I know people got disconnected, and possibly that's the reason why they haven't been able to respond. Let's go ahead with the meditation, Birender.
Okay, fantastic. Gunjan, can you hear us now? A lot of people are still saying they got disconnected.
Yes, and Amrish is taking care of that for sure at his end, so go ahead.
Okay, fantastic. Okay. So let's get into that. Okay. And as usual for any meditation, I need you to first close your eyes and bring yourself the reality of the present. I want you to feel your body this gorgeous day of Saturday, 10th of February 2018. I want you to scoot back in your chair so that your lowest part of your spine is well supported, taking the spine up towards the sky. Lean back from the back of your chair just a little bit. Relax your shoulders and pull them back slightly. This position allows you to expand your rib cage in all directions when you breathe. Seek a posture that allows your love to expand and create more spaciousness. Place your feet flat on the floor so the heels and balls of your feet make equal connection with the ground. Rest your palms gently on the thighs. If sitting like this does not appeal to you, find a position that makes you both alert and relaxed and allows your chest to expand. Once you're physically comfortable, let your eyes drift close. If you find that uncomfortable, set your gaze on the spot on the floor ahead of you or on a simple, peaceful object. In this guided meditation, you will focus on particular phrases. You will hear my voice followed by periods of silence. After I introduce the phrase, gently repeat them silently in your mind. We will begin and end the meditation with my voice. Bring your awareness to the sensations of your heart. Breathe to and fro from your heart. Notice how each breath brings new energy to your heart. And allow your heart to send life-giving oxygen coursing through the body. Simply rest in this awareness for a few breaths. Now in this quiet moment, visualize someone for whom you have warm, tender and compassionate feelings. This could be a partner, a loved one, a parent, or even a pet. Someone whose mere thought makes you smile. Let his or her smiling face surface in your mind's eye. As you take in that image, with the lightest mental touch, call to mind this loved one's good qualities. The goal is to arouse warm and tender feelings naturally. By visualizing how connecting to this loved one makes you feel, let these tender feelings take root and creating genuine warmth and kindness in you. Now, offer the wishes of loving kindness to this person. The traditional phrases go like this. May you all feel safe. May you feel happy. May you feel healthy. May you live with ease. I will now repeat these phrases once more. May you feel safe. May you feel happy. May you feel healthy. May you live with ease. When you no longer hear my voice, continue to offer these wishes gently and silently to the person you hold in mind. May you feel safe. May you feel happy. May you feel healthy. May you live with ease. If you wish, you can even extend these phrases ever so slightly. Instead of saying you can take this person's name. You could say, may you feel safe and protected, like a child in a mother's arms. May you feel happy and peaceful. May you feel healthy and strong. May you live with ease. Although your mind might pull you ahead, reflect on these phrases slowly at your heart space. Silently say one phrase to yourself with each breath cycle. In the space between the phrases, pause for just a moment to feel your heart and your body and to really notice what sensations, if any, arise in you. With each phrase, you might imagine seeing your good wishes radiate from your heart to your loved one, perhaps as a beam of light or a slowly unfurling golden ribbon. May you feel safe. May you feel happy. May you feel healthy. May you live with ease. Now gently let this person's image go from your mind's eye and replace them by welcoming in all the people with whom you share a connection, even remote connection. Use this phrase to extend your goodwill and love as far as you can. Bring the image of everyone with whom you have a connection and send them this greeting. May you all feel safe. May you all feel happy. May you all feel healthy. May you all live with ease. May you all feel safe. Feel happy. All feel healthy. May you all live with ease. As you conclude this practice, gently remind yourself that you can generate these feelings of kindness and warmth anytime you wish. By taking this time, condition your heart to be more ready to just do that. You're now better prepared to experience true connection with others. As you end this meditation, know that each person you encounter has already been the focus of your loving intention. use that awareness to forge new micro moments of connection. As you bring yourself back into this current moment, smile, and you open your eyes ever so gently, I wish to say goodbye for now. And what I would like you to do is, as we complete this call, in this moment of meditative silence, if there is someone in your home, I want you to go and give that person a warm, tender, maybe a big hug. If you're alone at home, like I am right now, give yourself a big, settle hug. And as you get up to give that hug, we will disconnect from the call. And with that, we wish you love, we wish you connectedness. God bless and Godspeed.